We can all agree that strong vocabulary is essential for successful language acquisition. Yet, students frequently struggle with retaining new vocabulary. As teachers, we often attribute this frustrating phenomenon to poor concentration or effort, but several other factors are actually at play. Hermann Ebbinghaus was a German psychologist who discovered that memory fades rapidly unless information is reviewed. His forgetting curve shows that we lose most new information within hours or days, but regular retrieval dramatically slows this decline. When students encounter new vocabulary alongside grammar, pronunciation, multimedia input, and task demands, working memory becomes overloaded, preventing proper encoding of new words. This is strongly supported by recent systematic reviews showing that multimedia and technology-enhanced language learning frequently induce cognitive overload, limiting retention. Vocabulary learned through copying, passive exposure, or surface-level tasks is not deeply encoded. Without meaningful use, retrieval, or personal connection, the brain treats the word as low-value information and forgets it quickly. Research on cognitive load and vocabulary learning shows that deeper engagement significantly improves retention compared to shallow exposure. Students rely on passive techniques, rereading, highlighting, copying lists, or glancing over notes. These feel productive, but they create recognition, not recall. What is missing is intentional, memory-based strategies that force the brain to retrieve, strengthen, and store vocabulary. So what can we do to help students remember vocabulary? Spaced retrieval is simple. Students revisit vocabulary at increasing intervals. Day 1, Day 3, Day 7, Day 14, or even further. Each revisit interrupts the forgetting curve and strengthens long-term memory. This can be as quick as a self-test, a mini-quiz, spaced flashcards, or a short no-looking recall moment. Students learn better when working memory isn't overloaded. Keeping vocabulary moments simple helps them focus on the word itself. One word per slide, one clear image, and multimedia only when it supports meaning. Give clear instructions, and remove anything distracting so attention stays on the target vocabulary. Deep processing helps students move beyond shallow exposure. They remember vocabulary better when they use it or recognize it in meaningful context. This can be as simple as identifying the word in a text, writing a real-life sentence, giving a personal example, explaining the word without naming it, or choosing the right word for a scenario. Students often forget vocabulary because they rely on exposure instead of deliberate memorization. Intentional revision gives them simple, repeatable ways to learn words on purpose. This might be read cover right check, quick listening checks, weekly micro-revision, personal vocabulary banks, or short retrieval-only sessions. Small routines, used consistently, make a big difference to long-term recall. Vocabulary recall improves when the curriculum makes memory intentional, structured, and consistent. Rather than prescribing routines, curriculum leaders can ask key questions that help shape a coherent, memory-friendly approach to vocabulary. Here are a few questions to consider and discuss. What do we collectively believe about how vocabulary is best learned and remembered? Where in the curriculum do students get repeated chances to retrieve vocabulary over time? How do we ensure new vocabulary is introduced clearly and without unnecessary cognitive load? Where do students get to use vocabulary meaningfully, not just encounter it? How do we help students develop simple, intentional strategies for memorizing vocabulary independently? Do our assessments reward recall and use, or do they rely too heavily on recognition?